and regulations on how to. So not only are they maintenance workers, not only are they road workers, but they also have to know another set of rules and regulations for what to do out here. So yeah, I don't, we'll discuss their employee handbook and we'll discuss their premium, but I'm not going any further than that right now.
Hey, John,
Yes.
and what do we pay those two guys, their benefit package and everything for a year? For the plumber, the mechanic, the everything?
They're paid,
The plumber for a year is probably
No, hey,
$50,000.
no, what do they,
what their wages are, we just gave
what's
them,
benefits?
a raise. Tim's at.
I don't need to know what do we pay those two guys? What does it cost this township for the year, for those two guys? Benefit package and all?
It's a deal no matter what it is.
Yes, it is.
$140,000 a year.
That's salary and everything.
Yeah, that doesn't include vacation, sick leave, or clothing allowance, or personal days. That's not included.
When they take their vacation,
Sounds pretty
and when
cheap to
they
me.
take, that includes their vacation,
I
that
didn't hear the
includes
numbers. What was it?
about $140,000 for the two guys.
That's all?
Yeah,
Right.
that's all.
For everything they do?
Yeah,
We're squabbling over that?
yeah.
Nobody's trying to.
But anyways-
You are.
Hey,
No,
you guys
no.
wanna get rid of either one of them, I'll pick either one of them up, they get a raise. And they ain't gotta grab much farther than here.
Why do they have to bid their jobs every year? Why do they have to bid their jobs every year? Do their jobs, they have to be hired every year?
Just to formalize it. Actually, my understanding is, an employee works for the pleasure of the board. And they could be canned anymore for no, whatever reason. But it's a formality. Because if this don't match with what you say you're paying them, and the state will outcome, if they're twice, every other year audit, it has to match up. What's in the minutes formalized has to match with what actually happens with the audit.
And on the flip side of that, they're at-will hires. The thing is, what transpired in the reorganizational meeting with the one abstention, the one voting yes and one voting no, life goes on as nothing happens unless he is terminated, and that is up to the board to terminate. Then still can't vote on that one. You probably still have the same vote. So you're just kind of stuck in limbo in there. That's kind of a gray area. So,
That's good for his head too.
so you gotta have two votes to pass any motion. And one with one abstention, the board ceases to pass that motion, so that life goes on at that rate of pay for that time period.
What bothers me is why we're all here for one reason. If there was nothing wrong with what he was doing, if he's been doing a good job for the township, why are we all here tonight? Why?
Because we're tired.
I don't know,
Hey, hey, Mark,
somebody made a mistake
I'll tell you what,
last week.
and I got 2 copies of it. If you wanna know what all the background of this is, it goes back when I
I'd
got.
like to read it.
And I got.
But that's-
And shame on me for
I
being
got
ignorant.
kicked off of the fire department.
That's
This is continuation of
all right, Lynn, stop that right there. We'll move on with the meeting.
You wanna know
We'll
something
finish
about
up.
that?
He can talk to you after, you can talk to him after the meeting.
I got all night.
In the past year, was there anything that Tim did that was wrong that you voted no?
There was, not to my knowledge, he did. I voted no because I was trying to make a point, and the point is I'm concerned about the cost to a township with less than 3,000 people. We are not sure that we're gonna get our road levy passed again. And we need to look into these things. But when you can't even get somebody to talk with you without going ape, you get nowhere. And
It was,
it's as
it
simple
was,
as that.
the simplest explanation, it was a big misunderstanding because the benefit package is one issue.
Right.
The road department is a separate issue. You can't hold this over this one's head. So this is voted, you made a motion, it died for lack of motion. That should have had nothing to do with your vote on the road department last week.
No,
That
that
being
was,
said-
that was before, and then I said about the 10%, John. Read your minutes.
We'll move on, we'll move on.
One more thing, the reason this all started was 30% increase in hospitalization, that's what it was all about.
That's when it was
When the
very
township made
concerning.
Was that
30%.
Tim? Did Tim increase it 30%?
30% insurance.
That was across
Insurance
the
went
board.
up 30%. Our fiscal officer told us, because I think she was a little concerned too.
We-
But that's all concern is, when
All right.
I was singled out and you didn't vote on him.
No.
That's what people want to know. That's what people.
You voted yes or no?
I'm done, John. Are we gonna move?
All right,
Are we
all
gonna
right.
continue to
We're
argue?
moving on to zoning. Emily Ashley was not here for her report tonight. Her little one come home from school and has to quarantine, so to be on the safe side, she's staying at home with her child. She did send a few things, letters to 1072, 180, State Route 183, and 8058 Virginia Road. The letters are attached. Andy Bull got back with her. Due to the pandemic and everything, Phil, the health department's been consumed.
I got that.
So, okay. But they are starting to they're starting to work in different
Hard
areas.
and dry.
Basically, yeah. So, things are starting to lighten up, but they're not. So, that's the premise of her report for this last week. No permits or anything.
Question.
Yes.
I handed in to you that resolution regarding.
For the dogs.
Yeah, the motion, is there any action on that, or will there be any action?
Have you looked at anything up?
I don't know nothing about that.
I gave the copy.
What was it again?
The dogs and kennels.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Have you looked at it?
No.
Next meeting, we'll give you an answer.
Okay.
All right? And been a little busy.
Oh, you work as hard as I do.
Yeah.
I don't work at all.
We'll move on to cemetery real estate in the park.
Okay, there's two items that are going on right now. There was an inquiry for a lot. The family wanted to know what they had left. We found out that this family member was buried in like 539 instead of 439. So it's gonna work out. I have to draw up other deeds to replace it. There's a vacant piece to make. In doing that, it was discovered that there's a whole row of lots on the drive out here. They don't exist.
I'm sorry,
They
was that?
what?
They don't exist. They're on the map, they don't exist. So everything's shifted off. So luckily, none of those have been sold yet.
So that's
So
all.
we're gonna make an adjustment there.
Great.
Okay, so that's one issue, that's one of the many we handled over the years. Also, there's a thing called an interment book, and current interment book is 100 years old, and it's fragile. It has specific binding, it has specific heavy It's all very specific, it's very, very durable, after 100 years, it's showing age. So they would like to get a new one made the same way. Very specialized, and one copy, $569. Yeah.
But it'll last 100 years.
Are you talking about the book with the rat tail on it?
No,
No.
no. They're, what's that government paper product that always sends us?
Just threw one away, I know who you're talking about.
They have those books in there. I told Tim I was gonna get the information. She
Okay,
thinks
that's fine,
But
but they need to do something, they want to put the current one in cold storage to keep from messing with it all the time, to damage it more than what it is. It's 100 years old. To keep it from getting damaged more than what it is. So maybe you got another option going, unless it's wrong, but to replicate the same thing, which is very, very durable, $569. And again, the problem is, they only want to produce, one. It's $101, maybe $200 less, I don't know. So that needs, they're working on that. But
How many open slots do we have left in the cemetery?
Phil, I don't really know, and part of the problem is, folks have had lots, and the family's gone, and some of them are used. And that's one thing that's been suggested is, maybe you have like a 20-year look back, but, if nothing happens, take it back. And so, there's some way to do that. But I don't think they should have bought this way. There's, like I say, that one road that you thought was there, one of them hasn't sold yet.
why, you looking for a spot, Phil?
There are too many people that were too willing for me to do it. No, I was just wondering, because, I mean, if we start running out, do we have plans to expand that or buy that?
I'll tell you what, it's probably 40, 50 years down the pipe. And the other thing too is the cremation stuff. You get a lot more bang
Well,
for the spots.
I had brought that up years ago when the school park was taken over. And it'd be very simple to extend that drive right there down and just make a loop in the back part of that. And that's, in my mind, that would be the best, easiest expansion for this
We have
cemetery.
the ability.
But we have that ability to go forward with, and a lot of these lots, this whole area here, and we still got this whole field here by the historical house that's not even laid out. This, on this side of the drive, on the south side. So, we got plenty of room for you, Phil. How soon you want it?
Hey, you said you could die young. If that's the case, I got about 2,000 or 3,000 years.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say, as far as the cemetery goes, this cemetery out here is 200% better. I'll give you an example. My chief passed away April 3rd, 2020. My mother passed away 5 days later, and she's buried in Harvard Memorial Park in Beloit. And her grave site, it's still a mess. Over here where Chief is buried, it's grassy, there's grass growing on it, it's maintained. I mean, it's 100% better than out there.
And Shirley, here's something that they do, no one knows about. They dig a new grave, they peel the sod off. Why don't we take this sod somewhere else and use it? They do it all the time. It's from practical, nothing bolt things. We don't want to waste the sod, let's move it somewhere where we need it. And they probably move that over to Mel's from some place that they dug. Sometimes you can't
What
do
I'm
that.
saying is, Harvard Memorial Park in Beloit, I don't know if anybody.
It's very expensive over there, I know.
It is.
Yeah.
But if you go, like I said, my mom was buried on the 13th of April. And his grave over here, where Neil's buried, there's grass on it, and hers looks like she was buried last week. and there's big rocks, big clumps, everything. And we
And
can't
it
get
takes
them to
time to
do
settle.
anything of it.
You don't, sometimes you don't have to go back and sell it. You might have to do it twice.
That's what they say, but still, you know?
These guys, when they dig a grave, they know exactly, almost to the pound, how much dirt to put on that truck, leave on that truck. For the burial. And then, like Lynn said, and the other thing is too, I'm still waiting for a call back for the guy for the walking trail. Now, if you notice, there's spots down there along the west fence where they've stolen grass, they peeled grass to cover some of these graves. So they do, you know, we have options of making, our cemetery does look halfway.
Well, what I'm saying is our cemetery is so small compared to out there. And I mean, you can go to anybody's grave out there, and it's a mess. Whereas ours, you know.
And it's a lot of work to trim around all these headstones and everything, and get it looking decent in the springtime. Springtime and the fall with the leaves and the branches. We are gonna have to address a couple of those trees along the field over there too. We took one down, what, 2 years ago? But there again, we gotta be careful, not how we hire somebody to come in, because we don't wanna wreck the headstones or people that are buried over there, disrespect families or whatever. So it takes a lot of planning to get those big trees out of there. But we have plenty of area for expansion down here and to the back. So,
Well, you can join me when I go.
anything else for real estate?
What about the flamingo, it's written down?
That's actually zoning.
That's what I thought, but.
Emily, we're gonna have a letter drafted up and we'll set a date at the next meeting to when we're gonna. The only question I had, and it kind of threw Emily for a loop, was the residents down here, we have to mail letters to the residents. Do we mail them to the hotel, and then we have to know what room they're in? Do they receive mail down there? How do we get that? Because those are people of interest, they have to be notified.
You have a-
Unless you have it served, have it
Well, that's
served.
the other
That's
option.
the only option you have. If you
Right,
Yeah.
have nobody.
so that comes with a cost. So by next meeting, we'll have that
When I did
finalized.
foreclosures, you just had to tape it on the door.
Huh?
When I did foreclosures, you just had to tape it to the door.
Well, that's the owner of the property, but this is a whole,
Now, on each hotel room door, then you would write the letter, sign it, and post it on each door, but you need to take a picture.
well, I've done that with the health department reports, and I'll have to check with legal representation about that. Actually, Brett Benz is from the prosecutor's office. He's our, township, advisor for,
That's how we
he's
had
our
to do
legal.
with foreclosures. Like, and I did that for 11 years, so to evict somebody, that's how we had to do
So
it.
you can give me an answer tonight or tomorrow, Brett.
What's the specific question?
How do we notify the tenants, or the two tenants that I know live down there? Can we just,
Do you know what room they're in?
well, that's the thing.
Okay, so I would recommend doing two things. If you can try to notify them in person, that would be preferable. There is a part of the statute that we're operating under, but if you do not know the address of the individual, publishing in the paper is sufficient.
And that's what I thought would cover it, but I wasn't sure. Okay. What I could do,
But if they don't want to leave, that's a whole other issue we'll have to deal with.
what I could do is, I could possibly get the, one sheriff deputy down here. I know several of them when they're in the area, and go down and just knock on the door and serve the paper. So,
That's the beauty of it.
all right. What else we got? That's. About it. Oh, Ryan England did call, Ryan England and me will meet, next week about getting a quote for a price of, handicap parking, concrete slabs up there by the sidewalk in front of the pavilion. And I'll finish that little spot down there for you guys. They filled that up with stone.
I saw that.
Okay. That'll be all taken care of underneath that. Move on to administration. What do you got? Oh,
I just thought we should do that and get it out of the way.
okay. Representative to Portage Regional Planning Commission.
Well, same old.
I'll take it. Review
I'll say,
Huh?
I'm the order.
Okay.
I don't move, you made the motion, John, for you, I'll second it.
Roll call in,
Yes.
Peggy,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
So you're going to do the primary, you're going to do the secondary?
So that's another motion. I didn't put them together like that.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'll make a motion that Lynn be the alternate.
Second.
Roll call in,
Yes.
Peggy,
Yes.
John.
Yes, and I got a Zoom meeting with them tomorrow, as a matter of fact. There was something coming up in one of the zoning, in one of the other townships, I'll let you see. I got it home on my computer, I'll try to pull it off. Something in the regs changes.
Okay, if you wanna just email it to me, I'll give you my email.
Alright. No.
Well, we didn't do that at the end of the meeting.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's something that we need to step up and do now, or at least talk about it.
Oh, this is that
Yes.
thing that they insisted that we put in here.
Right.
Okay.
So I just thought we should, recover ourselves and get it out there.
What is it? What is it, Linda?
Wait 1 second, baby. I'm trying to place
Both of them or just the one?
both of them. You didn't do either one at the 30th meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and it's something we just roll over every year, and I.
The one is just,
About insurance,
solid waste district, just
solid waste,
saying that we're gonna accept their
right,
prices for recycling
right.
for the 2021 year.
Have they gone up? Are they changing?
I think it go up a quarter.
Well, that's for homeowners. For us, because we're a nonprofit, it's going up like
Well,
$25 a month.
right. And
So, I mean, that's why I thought we really need to talk about this before we get too far into it, because it's gonna go from free to $25 a month.
that motion is for the residents. This one
Well, this is for
is
us,
for
right?
the townships and public entities.
And it's both those motions that,
As far as I'm concerned, more or less, I haven't talked to Don, Linda.
I did talk to Don about this.
They can come get the recycle bin and we'll just put it in the trash.
Because they're gonna charge us $25 a month for that.
And I don't see, the only thing we do, well, we have an abundance of cardboard this last week, but
I'll stick it over the rainbow, put it in there.
Well, we need somebody from Randolph here.
He's got one down the fire.
Well, they benefit from it.
And we
Yeah,
don't
that's
do away with yours also.
Yeah, because
Oh, they're
it's gonna
gonna
cost us $25 for this one, $25 for that one.
And it was free for nonprofits.
So,
We
it's
are a
like,
nonprofit.
So, do you wanna make a motion to just have them remove it then?
well, that one. Yeah, this one is $25 for a 95-gallon
We
cart,
just have that blue one, or
Yeah.
the two blue ones.
the two blue ones. So, you know, it went from nothing to $50, I'm not,
I don't think we use them that much.
on occasion.
Really?
Not really, because what can be scrapped or sold, you know,
Yeah.
reused or whatever.
All them boxes were here, they're up in Denver's bids right now, 'cause I took them up today.
And I was looking for them, and that was my bad, because I was come down here and do that. We have a UV light to disinfect this hall, which after you guys leave tonight, I'll plug it in and turn it on. But the windows in the two doors and those two doors have got to be blocked off somehow. So luckily the boys had some cardboard out back that they
I got
just,
some. I got cardboard.
yeah. But for, like, if Linda's in here and the light's on, you're not supposed to look at the light, you're not supposed to, so those doors have to be blocked off, and I had to put the safety signs in each window and on the door handles, just to make sure nobody, it's in the process of being cleaned, not to come, danger, not to come in.
What about that film that they made, you know, it darkens the windows?
I don't know if that will work or not, but there again, you notice those curtains are closed back there. These were closed, I opened them back up for the meeting. You gotta close the window, you know, so nothing gets, you know. That was my only thing that I wasn't thinking about, these glass doors when we bought the thing. And then I used a handheld one that has a magnetic, a magnet on the back to do in the stalls in the bathrooms. It's good for the smaller rooms. So once a week, the rooms do get disinfected down here, unless of course, like yesterday, Emily called me, she was in the office, so I came down today and redid her office again, just to be on the safe side. It's one of those things. This I don't think we need to do, we'll just tell Bill to come get his bins.
That your point?
No.
We'll just tell Bill to come, I'll talk to Bill.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, I'll talk to Don.
Okay, she's in charge.
I know. But those are just, Lynn, is that the resolutions you were looking at?
Yes.
Yeah. We need to just formalize those. So, what number are we on?
Should be on, I should have written it on there.
4/2021. I'll make a motion to enter agreement with the district commissioner of the Portage Solid Waste Management District in Atwater Township on today, January 12th, 2021, to continue to perform the collection of residential recyclables from all residential dwelling units within the township, with delivery to the collected recyclables to the district recycling center in Brimfield, Ohio, or to another processing facility. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Roll call Lynn,
Yes.
Peggy,
Yes.
John,
Yes. And then 5/2021, as per the Ohio Revised Code 505.60, full-time employees and elected officials may waive the medical insurance and prescription drug program if they have other coverage that they are enrolled in. At the time of declination of the township medical policy, a full-time employee or elected official shall be eligible for reimbursement of their out-of-pocket premiums for the medical insurance incurred by other insurance policies covering said full-time employee, elected official, and if applicable, an eligible dependents of said eligible full-time employees or elected officials. Proof of other coverage is required to be submitted to the fiscal officer prior to January 1st, should a change in insurance coverage, premium payments, etc. occur within the calendar year. The fiscal officer must be notified as soon as possible, but no more than 30 days after the change. Reimbursement amounts may not exceed the amount based on the average billable premium per the medical mutual contract. And that is in the form of a motion.
Roll call. Lynn?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Anything else, any other notes? That's it? All right, nothing else? You're up, receipts.
Yes. I'd like a motion for receipts listings 192/2020 through 193/2020. These were the last checks that were received last year, last month. So that's come to early 2020s and not 2021. In the amount of $2,346.65.
I'll second it.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
A motion for blanket certificates 1/2021 through 4/2021 in the amount of $53,000.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
A motion for electronic funds 19/2021 and 20/2021 for $2,480.19 for federal and state taxes.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
A motion for warrants 365.50 through 365.59 in the amount of $12,768.88.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
A motion for payroll excluding the road department warrants 365.46 through 365.48 in the amount of $1,302.14.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
A motion for payroll direct deposit warrants 1/2021 through 17/2021 in the amount of $7,644.43.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
A motion for payroll for the road department warrant 365.49 in the amount of $1,595.35.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Good. We're good, I'll make a motion for the bills.
Okay.
Yes.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Got ahead of yourself, didn't you?
All done on the,
Yeah, we're good.
move to go back to
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call in.
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Next meeting will be
26.
26th.
Okay.
Everybody be safe, be careful.
John, before you conclude, I want to say something, because I've been watching these meetings for a while now.
Yes.
And just, the whole thing, it's not ever been resolved, and you being the politician that you are, you're trying to appease everybody and not take a stance on this. It really needs to be that, laid to rest with the whole tin and, peg baby thing, because it's, you have a man that has been in here for 20 years working for the township, and he deserves the respect, don't shake your head at me, he deserves the respect of an vendetta against an employee.
That
and
is not true.
You didn't vote for approving him, and
I
I
didn't
asked you to
vote
get
for
in,
Milton
talk about
either for
it.
the same reason, so let's get it straight.
You're
His
talking
mama
over
was
me.
here, she
You're
knows.
talking around it.
All right,
I know that. But it needs to be resolved, it needs to be laid to rest, because it's every meeting, so.
I'm not doing anything, young
If
lady.
you voted no for somebody that's been here for 20 years without any justice, no reason, there's no reason why he should have a nay from you. There's no reason whatsoever, and it needs to be resolved. And it can't keep going on and on and on. He should know.
What is going on?
He should know next year that he has a job, should he choose to be
He
here.
knows that.
He should,
You think so? With as much workplace harassment as he's had to take from you?
and I think seriously, and Jackie said this is borderline workplace harassment.
Yes.
And it borderlines where it could be a liability, that she continues to harass him. Nobody wants
I
to
don't
go to
even
work
see-
every day, you're speaking over me.
I-
Nobody wants to go to work every day and be micromanaged and harassed by someone who really doesn't have a concept of what his job is and what it takes to do his job. You can't take a 78-year-old woman and say, hey, come do this job, come and watch over these guys. Or I heard her in the meeting say that she was following Tim around his, around because she went to
I
ensure
did
their
keep an
safety.
eye on
I'm
the
sure-
guys when I was in
speaking.
charge of the roads.
I'm speaking. Now, this
Now, I
was this
don't
year.
care if you're speaking.
quiet,
enough.
quiet.
I know you don't care, because you don't have any
John,
respect for any
sit down now.
But my point is, what the hell are you going to do? You know what I mean? There's two men that are grown-ass men that
Yeah.
are capable of their job. What do you even know about what they're doing that you need to follow them around?
I
babysit
don't
them?
follow them
And
around.
200
I have
people-
kept my eye out in the past.
That's not
If
your
I see
job.
them out during the day, when I'm out and about, if I visit friends or whatever I do, you better believe I look over to see, because I have more concern for their safety than anything else.
That's BS. That's borderline
Well,
stalking
that's
and
your
harassment.
opinion.
That's borderline stalking and harassment.
Oh,
All right,
don't be silly.
all right.
I'm gonna be
John, it needs to
stalking
end, and you know it needs
employees.
to end as well as I do. I have no dog in this fight, but I've seen
Oh,
this
my
month
word.
after month, week after week, to see these meetings, and this, you're so disrespectful. You need to just resign. You have
There's-
nothing but contempt for the people here.
Where are you getting all your information?
I'm watching it on Facebook Live with the
You see her phone
As
going on?
opposed to the makeup crap that brings to meetings and tell them.
It needs to be resolved, and it needs to be,
Well,
I
it
don't
needs
know
to
what
be
you're
done.
talking about resolving, young lady. I really don't.
You need to.
I have never,
attitude.
ever mistreated Tim or Milton.
All right.
Ask your son.
All right, now we're gonna end this meeting.
It needs to be resolved though. You can't take a personal, I don't like Tim, so
That's
I'm
not
not gonna
true.
vote for him for next year for his
That is
job.
not
The only,
true. I
Did you not,
never
you
said
voted
I
nay,
didn't
you
like him.
voted yes last week then for him?
She voted yes to be
Our
fired from
problem-
a brand new employee, but not a 20-year employee.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I watched it, it's on Facebook Live, so I watched it. So it needs to be, it's not, this is not fair, this has to have a resolution, you can't keep doing this.
it
I'm
is,
not doing anything.
it's,
Well, you can laugh.
it's hard to govern. You have two people, you got water and oil here. They don't
Then
mix.
she needs to take herself out of the mix.
Abstain.
All I
She
can
needs to
say is she and Lynn are both elected officials. Other than them doing something completely out of line, there's not a whole lot the board can do to get rid of any member on the
John,
board.
you
You
don't-
can't do
you
it
don't
by
think
statute.
You don't think the behavior towards Tim is outgoing?
That's
I have
harassment.
behavior towards Tim. Where's this coming from?
You need to watch last week's meeting, girl. You do.
Oh, what?
If nothing else before the board, I'll move for an adjournment.
Second.
Roll call in.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Done?
Yes.
Do you mind if we stick around for a few minutes, because our little group needs to talk?